Last weekend, my sister had her destination wedding in an exotic locale. So the accommodations were these cute little villas arranged all over a winding path that goes down the side of a mountain to the beach. Each villa has its own little private pool that is primarily secluded and covered by tropical shrubbery, unless people happen to go walking by the path at a certain angle and crane their necks to see up. So it was late at night, around 1 a.m. We figured no one was up at that time, so me and my husband went skinny dipping and ended up having discreet, but obvious to anyone who saw, pool intimacy. And who just so happened to be walking down the path and looking up at that moment? My mom and her boyfriend. They were walking over to the villa where my grandma and aunt were staying to give grandma some sleeping pills she'd forgotten. So my mom's boyfriend, Matt, chuckles, but my mom goes, "Oh my God." The next morning she laid into me like, what was I thinking? How can I be this trashy at a fancy hotel like this one? Why couldn't we do it in the bed like normal people? What if anyone else saw or heard? She said someone else probably saw us and now everyone was talking about it, which was not true. Eventually I just exploded and told her that she would do well to remember that my husband and I were paying for a big chunk of the wedding, her stay and her plane ticket, so she should just take it down a notch with her insults and finger pointing. And then my sister and her now husband wanted to know what all the commotion was about, and my mom was like, "Your little sister probably just ruined your wedding by acting trashy and low class by doing that at the pool last night." My brother-in-law was like, "Nice," to my husband, and my sister just laughed, making my mum even angrier. My sister assured mom no one saw us and no one was talking about it. But my mum was like, "But what if they had? Then everyone would be talking about that and not your beautiful wedding. She risked ruining your wedding and didn't even care." And then she went on a tirade about how I've always been like this. Anyway, the wedding went on without a hitch despite my mom's paranoia, but she's still curt with me. Maybe her guilt tripping is so effective that I wonder if I really was a trashy, inconsiderate idiot who should have used the bed. Your sister doesn't even care, and it's her wedding. And even if everyone at the entire hotel had seen, the wedding still would have been just fine. I think it'd take a lot more than someone having intimacy with their own husband to ruin a wedding. Mom is way overreacting to virtually nothing. She needs to stop talking about it, or we'll think that her poor boyfriend never has a fun time. Realistically, Mom was delighted because it gave her an excuse for drama, self-righteousness, and centre stage. OP, Mom wouldn't have had nearly as much fun without this. She'll be telling friends and family this story until she dies. She's one of those people who thrive on drama, so she takes any chance she can not only to generate drama, but make sure as many other people know about it as possible. The better question is, why are you picking up the bill for a woman who treats you like dirt? You paid for her. Why? I guarantee this isn't the first time she's done something like this to you. Stop paying to be abused. Repeat after me. I am not an ATM. You're an adult and not my responsibility. My wife is a huge Pink fan and has seen her in concert 5 times. I also quite like Pink and I went to 2 of those shows and enjoyed them immensely. Unfortunately, the 3rd time wasn't the charm. Months in advance of the concert last night, my wife bought 4 tickets, 2 for us and 2 for a couple of her friends. It was a beautiful day, we had no traffic or parking problems and got to our very good seats as the opening acts were starting. Everything was good. None of us particularly cared about the openers, so it wasn't a big concern that the sound was muddy and the bass was loud during those performances. I knew from past experience that the acoustics for Pink would be great. It would be worth waiting through 3 hours of noise to see her. I was wrong. About 50 minutes into Pink's performance, wherein I could only make out about every 3rd word she sang and couldn't hear her vocal range at all, I felt tremendously disappointed. I gave my wife the car keys and said I was going home, a 4-mile walk. She and her friends were enjoying the concert far more than I was. Today, my wife is angry at me. You ruined it for me. You embarrassed me in front of my friends. I could have spent that $300 on someone who wanted to see the show. When I responded that my leaving didn't affect her seeing the show, I was told, "You don't care about my feelings at all." I asked, "What about my feelings?" She refused to discuss it further and is still angry at me. Should I have stayed and been miserable myself for 2 more hours? I absolutely would have done that if we'd gone alone. With her friends there, I didn't think I was abandoning her. Edit, I fully explained to my wife why I was leaving before I left. I paid for my own ticket, she just made the purchase. It was not a gift. I didn't go as a group. There happened to be 2 other people with us, 2 of her friends to whom I only said hi all night. You are the idiot. You preferred to walk 4 miles alone than spend 2 more hours of an event that your wife was actually enjoying and, I imagine, was looking forward to sharing with you. Do you really think she could have enjoyed the rest of the concert knowing that her husband decided to ditch her in front of her friends and that you were walking 4 miles alone at night? It's embarrassing. He said he had paid for his ticket, she just got it when she got hers. Not the idiot. No matter what your reason was, she had a way home and friends to enjoy the show with. You weren't enjoying it, and you explained why, so that should be enough. She needs to get over it. This is very bad advice for anyone married who wants to stay married. Sometimes when people advise, they really give away their age and inexperience. This is one of those times. Dude, you need to talk it out with her. It could have been a tough night for you, but leaving gives off the vibe that you don't care. I just don't get it. If my partner was having such a bad time that they thought walking home for 4 miles would be a better experience, then of course, I'm not going to try to make them stay or get angry at them. Not the idiot, OP. You weren't having fun and your feelings are also valid. People walk out of concerts and shows all the time. There's no need for her or for anyone to be embarrassed. It just didn't suit you. My mom never wanted a boy. She wanted girls. Apparently her dream was 4 daughters, but she had me, teen male, first. I've seen photos and videos of the day I was born. She cried hysterically when they told her I was a boy. Then she refused to hold me. After we were cleaned up, she cried about not using the name she'd chosen and said she didn't know how to move on from it. All this was caught on camera. Eventually, my paternal grandma took me, and she was the person to hold me in photos and videos taken during the rest of our hospital stay. My paternal grandma was my sole parent figure for the first pre-tween years of my life. She took care of me and I spent a lot of time at her house. Sometimes I was there for weeks. Then she had a brain bleed and died. So I was left with a mom who wanted girls and not a boy, and a dad who wanted to be a provider and nothing more. My mom had my sister Lily 2 years after me. So my mom got her girl and Lily got all the attention. I got grandma until I was pre-tween, and then nobody. My mom and Lily are super close and my mom adores Lily. Lily got the bigger bedroom, she got the gifts, she got all her favourite snacks, she got to do all the extracurricular activities she could ever want, and her birthdays were huge parties with huge gifts. Christmas, she gets at minimum 25 gifts from mom alone. Mom typically gets me 1. Never anything I'd like or want, but the thought that counts, which is 0. My mom's family isn't interested in making up for my lack of parental love. In the last couple of years, Mom and I have argued more and I give her a hard time. Dad's never around to give him one. But Mom, if she wants to ignore me, then she can hear how crappy it is, and if she wants to treat my sister like a perfect angel, then she can hear about it. Mom has mentioned how I ruined her dream of 4 daughters. We were at Mom's parents' house Friday and Mom gushed about how Lily doing well on a project and the scooter she got Lily to help her get around more easily. She got Lily a custom helmet and a personalised lock for her scooter. She couldn't stop talking about it and I told her she really does love to shower her favourite with gifts and praise. My mom's family told me I should take it easier on her and said I should understand we had some little troubles because of Mom's gender disappointment. I told them I don't owe her crap because she had gender disappointment and that I didn't ask to be born to a mom who only wanted daughters. They told me I lacked adult understanding and compassion. Not the idiot. Your mom is toxic and extremely shallow. So many out there are desperate for a healthy baby, regardless of gender. She's blessed with just that and rejects it. I'm so sorry your mom is like that and for the loss of your grandmother. The good news is, you're almost an adult. My advice is to focus on yourself and work hard to get out of there. Then you can choose when you see her and in what capacity. I really hate the concept of gender disappointment and feel it's becoming more obvious with these huge trendy gender reveals. Nobody needs to see their parents bratting because they're not what they expected. People need to grow the heck up and realize what's important in life. That's not gender disappointment. That's some disgusting and cruel neglect on your mother's part. I had to use quotation marks because no real mother worth her salt would ever do such a thing. Dad is just as much an idiot as Mom is. The fact that he can sit there and watch that he basically left raising his son to his mother for pre-tween years because he couldn't parent for 1 minute, the fact that he spent the remaining pre-tween years being complicit in all of this, makes him just as culpable for Mom's actions and behaviour as she is. I work what some people in the medical field would consider a unicorn job. No weekends or holidays, no on-call, and for me, a set schedule. I've been working this set schedule for more than a year without issue. This was decided upon hire by my manager, though not in writing. At the time, I was the first and only full-time employee, so I was offered my choice of schedule. My tenure with new employees has held up, and in my opinion, rightfully so. My experience in the medical field has always been that if you're tenured, you will get the best schedule. Recently, my manager informed me that there are complaints from the other 4 employees that it's unfair that I don't work Fridays or weekends, but none of us do, and that he would like me to work a few Fridays. Now, I'm a single mom with young kids. My kids are in multiple therapies and sports classes, and all appointments for routine things are scheduled for Fridays. And at this point in the year, it's scheduled out basically through December because my set schedule has been the norm for over a year. In talking with a few of my co-workers, 3 of them don't really mind that my schedule is what it is and understand where I'm coming from. I'm the only one of us with small kids to have to work around. However, today, when my manager approached me again about these complaints, I knew who they came from because I'd already confronted the others. So I confronted co-worker number 4 in front of the others, asking why there was such an issue with my schedule. It's truly none of their business why I'm available or unavailable on certain days. This co-worker stated "It's not fair, Fridays are a hard day, and if I want a Friday off I have to request it, and I only get it off if I'm going out of town." Okay, and? That's not my issue. Why does it need to be fair? This is the real world and not kindergarten. I've never worked a job where an equal level co-worker's opinion dictated someone else's schedule. Why do I have to pull all my children from sports and classes and rearrange our life because one person cried about fairness? During this confrontation, this co-worker told me, "That is between you and the manager." And I said, "Yeah, it was until you decided to complain about it, and now it involves you." Co-worker number 4 got teary-eyed and left crying after the relatively civil confrontation, meaning there was no yelling or name-calling, but they cried. So, am I the idiot for calling my co-workers out and making them cry? You are the idiot. It sounds as entitled as heck. A year-ish is not tenure. I say ish, as clearly these co-workers have been around for a while now as well if they're fed up. If you don't want to do it out of hours, etc., don't choose a field and job where these are required. Your choice to have kids shouldn't impact your co-workers. Their time isn't less important than yours just because you have kids and they don't. You're all on the same level, and frankly, if I were your manager, it'd be managed on an even basis. You even call it a unicorn schedule. If a steady work schedule is important, why go into a field with such a notoriously horrible one? The confrontation sounds more like bullying your co-workers into submission. Holy heck, you are the idiot big time. I hope this employee takes you to HR and you get your butt handed to you. My twin sister, teen, and I, teen male, don't have the same dad. Mom slept with 2 guys close together and had us. DNA proved this too. It's always been a weird thing and we get a lot of questions in real life. My sister's dad was willing to do the DNA test, took it, and it showed he was her dad but not mine. Mine had to be dragged to court, and he's found ways around paying for me, and he and his family never wanted to know me. So my sister grew up with a dad, and I didn't. Mom didn't like it, and when we were young, preschooler maybe, I apparently used to get so sad when she'd leave and go to her dad's house, and I couldn't go with her. I don't remember it, but I understand why it's true. So Mom told me he had to include me, and he was like, "Nope, no way." It ended up in court with Mom wanting to take away his parenting time. The judge ended up saying he didn't have to take me for his custody time, but he had to include me on any big days out with my sister or for family holidays if she went along. He tried to get my mom to drop it, but she refused. So ever since I was in kindergarten, he's been forced to include me in his life sometimes and the lives of his family members. None of them want me there. I know they see me as this huge burden. I hated it. If I wasn't being ignored, they were just really short with me and made it so obvious they didn't want me there. My sister was torn between me and her dad. I told her I didn't want to deny her a dad, so she never let it come between them or us. When I became a young teen, I tried to put my foot down with Mom, but she told me I had to go, and she said she'd take his butt to court so fast if he let me wander off and didn't make sure I was okay like he would with my sister. Only 2 years are left, but I can see how much my sister's paternal side despises having me around. It sucks being forced somewhere that nobody wants you. and my mom is still serious about taking him back to court. So I told Mom a couple of nights ago that it needs to stop and she can't keep doing this. She told me I didn't deserve to be left out because of her actions. I told her she couldn't make them love me, and they've shown their disdain for me for over 10 years now. I told her to let it go. She got so angry she wanted to yell and cuss at them. I told her to stop being selfish and stop forcing them to include me, because she's the only one who wants that, not me. I told her I never wanted this. Mom broke down and then told me it wasn't necessary to be cruel to her. Am I the idiot? The only idiot here is your mother. This is not your father, it's your sister's father. She has that family. If they got to know you through her, they might have loved you for that, despite your mother. The way your mother went about it ensured hard feelings. I'm sorry your father wasn't involved and that you don't seem to have family on that side. This mess is of your mother's making. This is a weird question, but have you apologized, even though it's not your idea to always tag along? Hey, not my dad. I'm sorry this keeps happening. You don't want it, I don't really like it either, and it's difficult for my sister. Is there some way we can struggle through it for another year or so until I'm old enough to legally make it stop? He doesn't need to apologize to anyone. He did nothing wrong. I think the not father and the rest of the adults in his family are also idiots for clearly making it so obvious that they resent OP for having to take him. It's not his fault, and there are ways to not treat him as family without making it obvious they hate him.